As we get ready to start our journey into the mine, remember, for your safety, you must remain seated at all times. Keep your hands and feet inside the train, and do not raise your hands above the top of your head. All aboard! Salt Line Express.
रेलगाडी छिक छिक छिक
रेलगाडी हिँड्यो ल
रेलगाडी छिक 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 रेलगाडी छिक 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 36 पैसा चाहिँ घेन्थे
पुरा साधु छ कताको अँध्यारो है
On the back side to keep air from that part of the mine from coming into this side. It was slowly being crushed by the roof, but as you can see, it finally came down. On the platform are a couple of two-thumbed gloves. In the 1940s, when this area was being mined, everyone conserved materials for the war effort. The miners would wear the gloves until they wore out the palms. Then they would wear them on the opposite hands, using the second set of thumbs.
बाबा साल्टेको भयो के गर्यो
As you look to your left, you'll see a rare sight, what the miners call a roof fall. The pieces on the floor used to be the roof, but over a number of years, the salt started sagging away from the compacted mud layer above it and eventually fell. Now, even though only a few rooms ever develop a roof sag, everywhere in the mine that people will walk, drive, or ride, we monitor the roof, and sags are removed when necessary.
कति हो चाहिँ
From 1923 to 1983, the miners used a rail system to transport salt from the mine face to the salt skip, where it was hoisted topside. Then, in 1983, they switched to a conveyor belt system. On the left is a car that was used to haul salt, and railroad tracks that were abandoned when mining left this area in the 1950s.
ट्र्यास
Everything that comes down in the mine stays in the mine. And if you look at the lit area, you'll see that this is even true of mining trash. Now, we know this area was mined in the 1940s and used as a break area in the 1950s. And we found many name brand products in this trash pile from that time period, and some of which are still around today. There are a couple of things that we noticed here. One, there's a calendar from 1953 on the floor by the rocks on the left. And two, when we found it over by the pillar, the great trash can, well, it was empty. We consider all these items to be artifacts, which only proves one person's trash is another's treasure. In case you were wondering, trash isn't the only thing miners left underground. And apparently this area was used as a restroom. Oh, no fancy
Restroom.
porta pots here. And they weren't very careful with the toilet paper either. And this is one reason we say, don't lick the salt. As As we round the curve up ahead, two spotlights will come on. The first, on the left, will highlight a stack of empty cardboard dynamite boxes. Then on the right, you'll see a pillar that is scaling or spalling. This means that the salt is breaking away from the wall. And like roof sags and floor heaves, this is a natural occurrence in a salt mine. And as your ride continues, keep in mind, we've tried to leave the mine just as it was years ago. Now, when we get to the station, please remain seated when we stop and do not get off the train until instructed to do so.
ल सकियो ल स्टप
पुरै बनाउनु भिडियो
हजुर
पुरै बनाएर भिडियो
Exit carefully to your left. Go back through the loading bay and
Go back.
continue your underground adventure. And thanks for riding Salt
पुगेनमा भयो हेरे पुगेस् ल हँ? हँ?
All right, so all you folks getting off the train are going to follow Travis to your next ride there.
तर ठिकै गरेर सामान बाबा छैन फेरि जान्छ
ए म छैन नि
From 1923 to 1983, this was the lifeblood of the mine. It's how they got salt out of the mine into the salt skip. Now they did that by using locomotives like the one you see there. That's called the Galloping Goose. Galloping because it bounced upon its suspension. Goose because of the gooseneck power cable that ran up to the ceiling. That says one on the side is actually back. Alright, there we go. Cars right here are 4-ton ore cars. They're labeled CSC on the side of them for Kerry Salt Company. Two miners called muckers were paid a brass chip worth 50 cents at the end of the day to fill these. Now a good team of muckers could fill 8 of these. So right here, this red car on dynamite to blast, but eventually we switched to ANFO, ammonium nitrate fuel oil. It was much more controllable, but yet it provided a same size as the
जानु भयो
दाना लाग्छ
तँलाई बुझे छैनस् ल
अलिअलि त बुझ्छु धेरै काम बुझ्छु
चोल्टीले अँधारा कता लाने भन्दा घरमा यो अँधारामा
अब भनेकै छ त ट्रेन मैले ट्रेन भनेर गाडी रहेछ यो
गाडी रहेछ यो त
अहिले गाडी होइन भने
Definitely not M-shot proof, does not look very safe. And what they would do is they would wall areas they had already mined off with those gob walls, and then they would use the fan to push the air to areas that they were currently mining.